Hello everyone, this is Tanku Roo, and welcome back to another Bloodborne boss drawing. In the last episode, we explored the still smoldering city of Old Yharnam that was ravaged by the scourge of the beast. Afterward, we were able to make our way through the old church workshop and up to the Grand Cathedral of Yharnam. But before facing the challenge that awaits us in the cathedral, we will instead be making our way to Hemwick, a small settlement full of countless bodies and dark rituals. There is little that is known for certain about Hemwick, but a few things can be inferred by studying the surroundings. This is the first area we've entered that is mostly unaffected by the scourge. The men of Hemwick are showing symptoms, but are almost entirely found outside the main gate, armed to fight off any unwanted guests, be they man or beast. The women of Hemwick, although looking wild and mad, do not appear to be showing any symptoms of beasthood. They instead appear to be going about their dark deeds of dealing with the excess of corpses in Yharnam. They have been harvesting bloodshot eyes, which are used in chalice rituals, likely by the church. Bone marrow ash is also said to come from Hemwick, which is seemingly depicted by the smoke coming from the various houses where they are likely burning the bodies. They appear to be harvesting organs, then cremating the bodies and gathering the bone marrow ash. Any excess or unfit bodies are strung up, likely to be fed to the ever-present crow population. Making our way through the area, we will eventually reach a large building on a hill, overlooking the area and housing Hemwick's boss, the Witch of Hemwick. When we first enter the boss room, we are greeted not by the witch, but a mad one. This strange, wild being is a puppet of the witch, summoned to do her bidding. Wild eyes gleaming, it hacks at us viciously with a sickle, but can be brought down quickly. It's usually a waste to fight it though, as it will continually be brought forth until the summoner itself is dealt with. By exploring the room, we will discover the witch as she attempts to mask her location through invisibility. The Witch of Hemwick is covered in eyes that she has likely harvested herself from the many bodies lying around the room. She is armed with a small and sharp tool that is likely used to scoop out one's eyes. We get a glimpse of this as she grabs our character during the fight and attempts to forcibly remove our own eyes. Aggressively search for and attack the witch at every possible moment while avoiding the mad ones when possible. You can backstab the witch early on, but that becomes more difficult as the fight goes on and she starts casting spells and summoning more and more mad ones to the fight. When the witch's health gets below a certain point, you will discover that a second witch has appeared with a second health bar. As long as one witch remains, the survivor will resurrect the other to return it to the fight, so you will need to finish the two witches off, one quickly after the other. I've read some speculation on whether or not there are actually two witches, or one witch creating a doppelganger using some form of sorcery, but I'm fairly certain there are actually two separate witches. Souls games tend to give bosses that make copies of itself one health bar if the copies are illusions, and two or more if they are actual physical beings, so it seems likely that this is the case of the witches. For the drawing, I really wanted to tell the narrative of the fight. This fight plays out very differently from the other fights in the game, and I thought the drawing should reflect that. I decided to have our hunter fighting off the mad ones, while the witch manipulates them from a distance. Since the focus of this series is drawing the bosses of the game, I opted for placing the witch in the foreground, while the hunter battles in the midground. It really helps to add some dimension to the drawing, and overall, I think the composition worked well at showing how the fight plays out. Since there are no new attire sets that can be found in this area, I opted for the Ashen Hunter set, worn by Jura in Old Yharnam. I like this set here for a couple reasons. One is that we just came from Old Yharnam, but I went with the Charred Hunter set for that drawing. It also gave us a great opportunity to bust out the stake driver in the drawing, as that is Jura's weapon of choice. I also thought it was fitting that we dress like Jura against one of the non-beast bosses of the game. It seemed a good way to show some respect to the character, who has an aversion to killing beasts. This is also one of the few bosses where it is possible to pull off a fully charged R2 attack from the loaded stake driver, which is one of the most satisfying things you can do in the game. Defeating both of the witches will cause the mad ones to vanish and the fight will end. A staircase at the end of the room leads down to an important item called the Rune Workshop tool. This item will allow us to start using Carol runes, and is the main reason to come here before facing Vicar Amelia. With Hemwick out of the way, I think it's time we head back to the Grand Cathedral and finish out that area. I had a lot of suggestions for that fight in the last video, so I will definitely go back and reread those. But if you have any other additional ideas, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.